back to my never-ending garage. I should say my never-ending misery. But I brought it on myself, so got nobody to blame but me. So I guess I'm not for sure where we left off at here. Yeah, before I forget, I'd like to try to grow this channel. And the only way I can grow this channel and learn and make better quality videos is if you go down below and hit that like button and subscribe. That will really help me continue to put out videos and to make better quality videos. And once I'm done with this car, it'll help me move on to something different. So, like I said, please hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you. So, anyway, we got the Firebird running. I think we still have some cooling issues because the fans are staying on all the time. The fans should not stay on all the time. That leads me to think that the sensor that's in the water pump is bad, but I don't think that's the case, because before we took the engine apart, the fans came on and went off when they were supposed to. They didn't just stay on all the time like they're doing now. So, I don't know. But what I'd like to do now is go ahead and top off with fluids, get the battery hooked back up. There's a sweat bee on the camera. He may walk over your lens here any minute. Get the car running, check the fluids. I think we had a radiator cap that was causing a small leak, and I think it was sucking air back through the cap, so I went ahead and replaced the cap. Cheap insurance. Pressure kind of hovering at around 40 on our dummy gauge. Temperature's all the way over in the cold for now. Looks like the alternator's charging, and we got no gas in the car. Of course, we got a service engine soon light because we deleted our EGR valve. Screwdriver is it kind of acts like an amplifier of sound, and it pushes that sound up through that screwdriver, and whatever you're touching, you should be able to hear if there's any noise in there. It's also a good way to see if you've got a fuel injector that has failed or isn't firing anymore or has become unhooked. In the case of my son, he knows about that one. Kind of sounded like there's a little bit of noise coming from that water pump, but it seems like it's gone now. So, something to keep an eye out on. Just another problem to iron out. So, once again, fans are not going off. So we got good heat, about 25 psi blow pressure. So. Well, I think we have established that we got a problem because the fans won't go off. We did make a little bit of progress. We did have coolant shoot out that little burp screw there, or whatever you want to call it. I think I'm going to go ahead and reconnect the AC lines. Then I guess I'll go ahead and put the strut tower brace back on. But I don't know why that sensor is not working correctly. I mean, it worked fine the first day we messed with it. Somewhere along the way, something changed. We know we're going to need to cap this off. I mean, in reality, it's before the mass air meter, but it is drawing in unfiltered air, so that it can be a problem. So we'll need to cover it. Wow. The fuel lines are hot. I've got a nice hose that can cool them fuel lines down, but it means I got to disconnect them again. Before we get to the point of having to pull out our ohm meter and our code reader and everything else and see exactly what the problem here is, this here little sensor is what controls the fans. This screws into the water pump, and this is what tells the computer to kick the fans on or off depending on how hot the coolant is inside the water pump. So, to try to head off a lot of work, we're going to change this out first. Now the one that's in there is off of eBay. Sometimes I have really good luck with parts off eBay, and sometimes they just don't last for any time at all. That one has probably, I put it in there before I decided to redo everything. It worked just fine till I decided to tear the car apart. And the first time I started the car, it worked just fine. After we did all these updates. But I hope it's something simple. So we're going to go ahead and gather all of our tools. Check the connector first to make sure there's no bent prongs in there. As you can see, there's only two inside the sensor, but hopefully it's something simple. I don't want to spend too much time chasing down demons. I'd like to, or gremlins. I would like to get the car on the road, get the exhaust on here, and get the ball moving, and start working on my Camaro sometime. Instead of chasing down a bunch of little problems that shouldn't be problems. If we lost any coolant, or if we're still full, or if we, I hate to say lost it, but oh, well, that's not convenient. Gonna have to get rid of this little raised up because this new little radiator cap is not gonna want to open easily. a little low, but once again, not very. Well, I'll probably just top it off with water just to see how much it is low. As I'm getting ready to pull that sensor out of that water pump, I'm going to lose a bunch of coolant anyway. So I don't want to be wasting coolant for nothing. That's one of the first times I've kind of used my brain during this whole build. Normally I would just fill it full of coolant and drain it back out and lose it. Better waste some water. Yeah. Wasn't very low at all. This is the sensor I showed you up top. The little receptacle on the left is kind of where it should be. The little receptacle on the right is pushed way up in there. So I'm going to see if I can't use the wire on the back side to kind of push it back up inside of it. Maybe it's not getting a good connection, and that's why the fans are staying on. Can't really see it very well, but the little female receptacle on the inside of this is pushed at least. Let me see, where's that other sensor? As you can see, they're not very. I bet you it's not even touching the little prong on the inside. Alright. Hoping that will solve our problem. Because, let's just hook it to this new sensor. See if it comes apart or what the deal here is. Alright, so it plugs in easy, and it pushed it back up in there. Interesting. Alright, let's see if we got some super glue. I absolutely love super glue. Fixes everything, cuts, scrapes, sensors that won't stay where they're supposed to be. I had a friend as a kid who drilled a hole in his finger. He wasn't that bright, but he drilled a hole in his finger and basically was able to fill that hole with super glue, and I kid you not, it healed just fine. And the dude never went and got medical treatment. So what we're doing is trying to keep this little connector in place. The little female connector is not reaching the male end of it when I plug it into the sensor. It is sliding backwards, and I have a feeling that is what is keeping us from having a solid connection, and it's keeping our fans on all the time. So if you put too much super glue in there, of course, when they make a connection, you're never going to be able to get it to send any signal back because it's going to get blocked. While we're letting that dry before we do anything with it, I just remembered I've had some moderate success with these in the past, and then I've had some that didn't really run very well with them at all. I like them because they're reusable. You can clean them and keep going. But hopefully it works out well with this car. I searched long and hard. One of these new air filters is kind of like $55, almost $60 new. I wasn't going to pay that for minimum amount of gains. I think these come pre-oiled out of the package because it is a little oily looking. So, for those of you that may not be aware, K&N Airfilter is just a cheap way to generate 1 or 2 horsepower, if that, in some cars. Now, I'm sure on some cars you'll get more, but on most cars you're going to get less. Anyway, so I found this K&N Airfilter online. I guess a guy had bought it, never used it for whatever reason, and had just sit around. So I ended up getting it for probably half the price of what it was actually cost if I were to buy it from somebody else new. So it never hurts to search, dig a little deep if you can find a better deal. So, something that appeared to be so easy anyway, ended up being such a pain in my ass. We have struggled, but we finally succeeded in replacing our factory paper filter with a K&N filter. I'm not replacing it because I'm under any magical illusion that it's going to generate some magic amount of horsepower. The benefit of having them is the fact that they're reusable, which I think when you buy the sensor, they give you a new pigtail. So I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see. It should plug together and come back apart easy, with no problemo. It's a little rough going in. Let's see if it comes back apart. Sweet, it didn't shove it back up in there. Hopefully this solves this problem. So that did not solve our problem. I didn't want to run it too long. I didn't want to build up any heat in the coolant, so when I had to take it back apart, I didn't want to wait. I didn't want to have to sit around and wait for the coolant to cool down. I was like, go ahead and just tackle this and get it over with. So, not that this is a big deal, but it's just something I should be past having to do at this point in time. So, I guess what I'm going to do, grab a catch pan, a socket and a ratchet, and go ahead and get this thing pulled out. I will check the harness again when I'm under there to make sure that it stayed where it was supposed to go. I just had a feeling that wasn't the problem. Maybe one of those little prongs inside that sensor is bent, and maybe that's causing it to get pushed back. So, I don't know. I don't think, then again, I didn't really check it before I put it in. Just assumed. So let's see how much battery life we have left today. I think what we're going to do is take a couple minute break. Make sure our camera is good and charged. Come back in about 20-25 minutes. Go ahead and get this unhooked and get it swapped out. So we'll come back and we'll take care of business.